Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, long time no see. It's been since before Christmas since I filmed a video. Sorry for such a long time period, but I've been busy. I've been going to a lot of appointments and yeah, but I'm back and I'm gonna start trying to film more, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, today I'm going to be talking about my story. I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about my story and how I've gotten where I am today. So, that's what I'm going to be doing. So, to start off, it was my sophomore year of high school, and it was a typical day in gym, and we had just finished the sit-up test, and we were changing, and I didn't feel right, and I ended up passing out, or like bringing myself to the ground ish, and they called the nurse, and I didn't feel right, so they let me go home, and I went to the doctors that day, and they said that, you probably just have really bad migraines that made you pass out. So they sent me home with nausea medication and headache medication, and that was that, and I was okay with that. So that night, while I was sleeping, my mom and my older sister noticed that my hands started shaking and started having tremors. So when they woke me up, it wouldn't stop. So they brought me to the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan and blood work. I don't remember what else they did because it was a while ago. But they said everything looked fine. So they sent me home with medication, and I went home. The next day, I stayed home from school, and I was sleeping, and my mom came home, and she called all my siblings downstairs and was like, hey guys, listen. So I got a call from the radiologist, and he looked over the CAT scan, and she in fact does have something wrong. And my heart sank. It fell to my stomach. She said, you have something called Chiari malformation. And I had never heard of it before. I was like, Chiari malformation, what? And she was like, it's basically where your skull is too small. And I was like, still not understanding. And she was like, your brain is falling into your spinal column. And I just let her go along with it. And she told all my siblings, and they kind of just sat there. And she was like, we have to make an appointment with a neurosurgeon. And I was like, why do we have to make an appointment with a neurosurgeon? And she was like, the only treatment for it is brain surgery. And I was like, oh, this is real. Like, this is the real deal. So, a few days go by, and I decided that I didn't want to go to school. I was still having really bad symptoms. By that point, my neck was really hurting. So I did go to church with my grandfather, and at church that day, something was off. And when I came home, I got out of his car, and I just fell to the ground. My body felt limp. So what I'm about to say is off from what other people have told me. So my body felt limp, and he caught me, and they called the ambulance. That's the first time I've ever been in an ambulance. And I remember waking up and seeing 4 paramedics above me. and they were all asking me questions, but I couldn't respond. It was so hard for me to respond. I was like in and out of it. And they brought me to the local hospital, and they realized like my diagnosis. So they transferred me over to the children's hospital, where they admitted me. They gave me a lot of painkillers, and then they admitted me for about a week. And they did MRIs, did a whole bunch of tests. And a doctor came in, and you can tell when a doctor comes in by his demeanor, like that something like is serious. And he was just kind of like, yeah, so your MRI showed that you have like your flow of fluid to your brain is being cut off, which does mean you're going to need brain surgery. And instantly in that moment, it's like life stopped. It's like your whole world changed, like your whole world goes upside down. You don't want, like, that's so life-changing. So I think 2 or 3 days after that, we got discharged. And about a week after that, we had our appointment with my neurosurgeon. Well, my old neurosurgeon. And so at that appointment, he agreed that I did need surgery. And originally it was going to be a month out from that appointment. And he came back in the room and he was like, oh, I actually have an opening for 11 days. In 11 days, we were like, okay. So I was diagnosed on January 24th of 2017. And on February 27th, I went in for surgery. The surgery went well. There was no complications besides afterwards I was having breathing issues. But yeah, I was in the hospital for about 5 days. It went pretty well. And then after my surgery, I wasn't in school. And then about 2 weeks after surgery, I was home. And this is all kind of fuzzy. I have really bad memory problems, but my best friend was over, and while I was sleeping, I had a seizure in my sleep. So they called an ambulance, and there was a lot of people in my house, and I was rushed to Children's. Like, I didn't even go to my local hospital. I was rushed straight to Children's, and I stayed there for about 2.5 weeks. I was having like 35 seizures a day, and they didn't know why. They still, to this day, can't really pinpoint the reason why. They're saying I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. So yeah, I dealt with that for a while. For about, I'm going to say like 3 months, I was having 30 seizures, like up to 30 a day. It was bad. And I was like, every movement caused me to have a seizure. It was terrible. And they finally found a medication that lowered them, but didn't stop it. And we finally found my triggers. And in the midst of all of that, I got an infection in my incision site. So we had to treat that. So for most of 2017 and like half of 2018, I was in the hospital. I had my sophomore year taken away from me. I had my summer taken away from me. I was wheelchair bound. So yes, I live with Chiari. I will always have it. There's no cure. So that is that. The rest of my story. So as my seizures started to die down, it was getting better, but my symptoms weren't improving. So we were looking for neurologists and looking for second opinions, but in August of 2018, we went on vacation to Vegas. And on vacation, we had the time of our lives. It was fun. We went on the strip. We tried out so many new foods. And while we were there, it was, I think, the second to last day. Me and my sister went down to the pool right before it closed. And again, this is really fuzzy. It's hard for me to remember, so I'm going to try and remember what my sister told me. I was in the pool already, and I did a flip. And I did my head on the bottom, and short and short, I had a seizure. And they had to, like, the lifeguards came in and got me. And so I had to be rushed to the hospital out in Vegas. And my right side went completely weak. There in Vegas, they found out that my C5 and C6 vertebrae were bulging out, and which was causing my right side to go weak. So I was in Vegas for an extra week, and then we came home, and I started intense physical therapy early September of last year. So I wasn't able to start my senior year of high school, which I'm still in, and I still haven't been able to start it. So I started that. I was barely able to walk. I was in a wheelchair. My right arm was barely able to nothing. I could not function with my right arm. So I started intense physical therapy and occupational therapy. And with the help of my amazing therapists, I started walking, and I am now walking almost cane free. You know, I still use my cane because I have balance issues.
That's all right. This is huge.
I heard you guys don't do so good at pool.
We sucked butt. If sucking butt was a profession, we would be good at it.
What place you guys?
We didn't go to the playoffs.
Not yet.
So how? I was gonna say you guys can go to Vegas.
My arm isn't fully there. I'm able to, make a fist and bend my wrist, but the lifting up of my arm is difficult. Along my journey from Vegas, I have gotten a few new diagnoses. I have been diagnosed with occipital neuralgia. I was diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, which is why I wear this to constantly track my heart rate and blood pressure. Because POTS is a condition of your autonomic nervous system. So the things you don't think about controlling is all out of whack. So you don't think about the fact that you're like blinking, or you don't think about your heart rate, your blood pressure. So when I stand, or going from laying to sitting to standing, my heart rate goes all out of whack, and my blood pressure goes down to the ground. I was also diagnosed with degenerative disc disease, which is where the discs in my spine, especially in my thoracic spine, which is the middle of my spine, is wearing out. I do have some other diagnoses, but yeah, it's been a year, been a tough couple of years. I haven't started my senior year of high school. I've been doing it all from home, and I am in a trade school, so it sucks, but your health comes first, and you learn that sometimes it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to go through obstacles. And I have always, before any of this happened to me, I never, second guessed anything. I never was the type of person to like sit down and, think about life. Recently, I had an experience. In the beginning of January, I stopped breathing and I was put on a breathing machine. And after that, life has been really put into perspective for me. I can't imagine, the thought of how much it would affect my family and friends of me not being here. So living every day like it's my last is all I want to do. I'm so beyond grateful for all God has put me through, all God has shown me. All I want to do is be an advocate and try and help people who are going through the similar or the same things that I'm going through. And if I can help one person out there, I'm the happiest person in the world. This going through chronic illnesses suck because you lose people who you thought would be there for you forever, but you also gain so much. Like, I've gained the confidence to go out there and be like, I can do this. I've gained the confidence to be like, instead of saying why me, like, try me. Like, I've gained people who I've never thought would enter my life, and I'm so excited about it. So yeah, it sucks. It's terrible at times, being in pain, laying in bed, not wanting to function, like being in the hospital, doctors not knowing what's wrong with you, doctors looking at you in your face and saying like, I don't know what to do next. But having said that, like, it's also brought me so close to so many people. It's also showed me how to be strong. It's also showed me that life isn't perfect and that things can happen so quickly, and to be grateful. So that is my story. And it's only a chapter. It's really only a chapter. There's still so much more I have to fill out, and I'm so excited. I'm so optimistic about my future. I'm so excited to see what more there is to my future. So if you guys are ready for my YouTube channel and you guys are ready to come along with me, you better come along. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Mwah.